War in the Pacific was hell. Marines went to hell and back. And this was the Devil's Dog's favorite tool, M1903A1 Sniper rifle. M1903A1 Unertl Sniper is on the table, and what a fantastic piece of the sniping history. Guys, to fully understand what this rifle is and where it came from, we'll have to jump for a moment to the 1920s and 1930s. Why go that far? Because at that time, the shooting competitions, the military shooting competitions, were all rage, and there was a really stiff competition between the Marine Corps and the US Army, and tons of people were following. There were live transmissions made by the radio about the scores. The newspapers were covering. The shooting sports were extremely popular, and of course everyone was watching their top performers. So some of these guys really had like a sports celebrity statuses, and it was a golden era for competition shooting in the USA. Now, what happened was too, a lot of these 1903 rifles were basically fine-tuned by the Marines for their competition teams, and they were overhauled, and everything was hand-fitted and crafted, you can say. And the results are absolutely astonishing. How accurate is this rifle? Well, let's watch. Jaw dropping. Guys, this is almost 90 years old system. So imagine how this rifle was shooting when it was all new and when the barrel was in the perfect shape and condition. Now, this was when I was dialed in on the target at 710 yards, but how this rifle really can do in like kind of simulated combat where we cycling through the targets at the extended ranges, and I have to fight the wind. So let's watch that footage, and I will share with you some observations I made about that rifle based on the usage. 9 clicks on the turret will start from 300 yards. Ula, 300 yards, small target, okay?
Okay, it's ready.
Alright, so the little one, right?
Yeah.
We're not fooling around here. Let's see, we got some slight breeze down the field, but we'll see if I can manage. Nothing but the south of the steel, and look at this, guys. Boom, that's completely normal. You have to reset the scope after each shot. Ula, next one will be 350. 350, I have to add 4 clicks. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I gotta get ready. Waiting for Ula.
Let's go.
Alright, she's ready. Round in the chamber. Beautiful. As I said, nothing but the sound of the steel. Don't forget to reset the scope. I don't know how these guys were doing it during the war. Ulla, 400.
Small one.
Wow, yeah, let's try the small one. So I have to add 4 more clicks. 2, 4, and we'll go for the little bastard. Okay, Ulla is signaling she's ready. Push a little bit to the left because of that breeze. Beautiful, that in the center. Reset. Ulla will go 450. And I have to add 3 more clicks. I mean, guys, this barrel is from 1940. So that's 82 years, if I'm correct. I don't know what to say.
Let's go.
This is just jaw dropping. I shouldn't compensate. I push it to the left, but I see, and it's still a good hit, but I shouldn't compensate that much. Resetting the scope, loading the round to the chamber. All right, so far so good. 3 more clicks for the 500. Ulla, small target on the 500. Oh, elevation wise I'm awesome, but I'm a little bit on the left side. Still very good hit. I will take that, gentlemen. All right, Ulla, 550. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is what I need. And let me know, Ulla, when we are ready for a 550.
Let's go.
All right. Round into the chamber, and I was on the left side. I overcompensated. You know what? I'll hold in the middle now. And beautiful hit. That in the center. See? I self-corrected myself. 550 done. Ulla, we have to go to 600.
Okay.
I'm almost feeling gutsy. Do you think we can have the camera on the 600 small target?
Sure we can.
Let me know.
Let's go.
All right. This is going to be funny. 600, I have any notes. 34. I'll put 1 more click. 35, because my notes are saying I'm low, and aim at the bottom. Okay. Look at that, and we are just above those little screws on that very tiny little plate. Outstanding hit. Let me see it in the spotting scope. Yep, very nice hit on the plate with this crazy setup and the scope, guys. But hey, this hardware works. All right, 650, Ulla, 650. I need 5 more clicks. And for the 650, yeah, I should be really good on that. We got the regular size plate. So as soon as Zula ready.
I'm ready.
All right, she's ready.
Fuck, no.
No? Whoa, okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Move the camera.
I'm waiting. Just let me know. That's okay, take your time, Ula. They wanna have a nice view on that shot, so let's keep it that way. And the 650 yards, there is again, I start feeling the breeze coming the field. We'll see how this is going to work out with the wind. Absolutely unpredictable because we got like 3 different zones on this field. How are we doing with camera?
Just give me a second.
All right. And this, yeah, I have a wind coming, I feel from right side. But then I look through the scope and I see a little bit movement of
Okay, I'm ready.
the 452. All right, you ready? Okay.
Yep.
Let's see what we can do here. I think I got that target. Let me see.
I think so too.
Oh, yes, it's on the left side of the head, if I'm correct. All right. Yeah, the hit is on the left side of the head, so it was a nice headshot. Ola, keep it on that target. I will lower a little bit, okay?
Yeah, let's try.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see. This is a great hit, don't get me wrong. We shut off his ear, but I'll push it a little bit lower. And we are lower. So where you point that rifle, the round goes. That's the bottom line. Ola, I will take those 2 hits at 650. Let's go with the 700 and we'll go for the full-size target, okay?
Okay. Gotcha.
1, 2, 3, 4 more clicks. We are at the 43 clicks according to my cheat sheet right now. And as soon as Zula ready, we'll execute the target. I'm just joking. We'll try to hit it. Now everything shrinks in size, guys. It's really, really low. But it should be doable. Absolutely. This rifle can shoot. If any errors are made, that's on the shooter, that's on me. And I have the issues with that wind a little bit. I'm swinging all those plates. Not bad, but yeah, it is moving slightly. So, but how do you like, guys, like pulling that scope? What a crazy setup. Let me know in the comments. You just gotta keep remembering because you can screw yourself up. Ola, how are we doing with that 700?
Let's go.
All right, she's ready. And the wind is swinging. Left and right, left and right. Boom. That's a hit. It took a moment for that sound to travel, guys.
What about the other one?
Oh yeah, we can try. Yeah, let's try the little one. We'll see. We'll see. But that one is a little bit farther too. That's 710 yards.
Come on, 10 yards. You hit it.
I hit it, but I don't see the hit. Where was the hit?
Low.
Low? Okay, yeah, I lower it. Oh, yeah, we got him in the guts. So there you go, guys. You can ring the little one plate too.
Don't listen to the wives.
Huh?
Just don't listen to your wife.
Yeah, I lowered, but I shouldn't lower. I should keep it in the middle. It was perfect. All I can say is this rifle shoots the lights out. There is no other way to say it, guys. And you can see it from the performance. And this is something incredible. As I said, the barrel is from 1940, and so 82 years, right? Absolutely jaw-dropping. So boom, there you go. The rifle definitely can deliver very accurate fire. And if you will get your wind calls, and hopefully as a sniper you will always have a spotter, but if you will get your wind calls, you will push rounds on the target. At that time, when everything, all the mechanisms were new and everything was gelling and clicking, I had no doubt that when the value was dialed for the elevation, the rifle was delivering the impact on that first shot where it should go. Now I did the quick test, dialing the turrets up and dialing the turrets down and making the shots. And I will tell you at 700 yards, because that's how far I can go to 710, but I was doing at 700 to have a more plate. And I will tell you that because of the age, the elevation turret is not 100% tracking right now as it did probably when it was new. So between the two shots, there was like 7 inches difference spread on vertical spread. And I'm attributing this to the way how the system works with that scope, how the screws are adjusting and everything. And you have to remember, as I said, this is almost 90 years old system at this point. God knows how old are those springs, gears, and everything here. So it is remarkable how the rifle still tracks and can cycle through the targets. But when you will dial in the value, you can see that the accuracy stays below half MOA. Guys, this is absolutely a jaw-dropping performance which today's manufacturers are struggling to achieve, some of the big names, right? So this just tells you what these rifles could do, and there's no question about that. Now, going back to the scope, because I think it is safe to say that 1903, because of the ergonomics and how this rifle handles from the sniper perspective, guys, I'll tell you that this was the best sniper rifle of World War II in my eyes. Sniper rifle, not the sniper system. Why not the sniper system? Because the weakness was that Unertl scope. And I have, from just using this scope on this rifle, formed my opinions before I dove into the original documents from the World War II time period. And it was fascinating to see that basically the Marine Corps arrived at the same conclusions, that this scope is not really well fit for the combat service. Why it was selected at that time in the early 40s, I have no idea. But this scope is really not that good for the use and abuse. And simply because even here, like, look how much open spaces you have for the screws which are adjusting the elevation and the windage. You can clock this whole system here with twigs, mud. I cannot even imagine what the Marines were doing to protect this from happening. Then, of course, the scope slides from the recoil, and that again opens up all the points which could be clocked with the external elements, and that had to be maintenance for these rifles. The field maintenance had to be an absolute priority. That being said, the early debut of these these sniper rifles in the war in Pacific was not really good. I think we can trace it back to the Guadalcanal, and the conditions in the jungles of Guadalcanal were absolutely brutal, but also because of the thick vegetation and where the battles were happening, there was not much use for the 8 power, actually 7.8, but Unertl rounded up the number to 8. 8 power scope was rather minimal, and that initial feedback from the battlefield came back to the command of the Marine Corps, and basically the Marines said, this is not going to work. This scope is not cut for the field conditions. The scope is not cut for the war. So at the beginning, the program suffered really a blow, and at the same time, when the U.S. Army was resupplying the Marines at the Guadalcanal, the 1903A4 rifles with the basically M1903B1 or Weaver 330C militarized version here started trickling down through the supply, and this was much more sturdy system. This rifle was the scope was built much better, much more waterproof, and the mounting system was very easy, and all the adjustments were done on the turrets, and it was not suspension system like on the Unertl, but internal turrets. So that scope and that rifle received a very good praise from the snipers who were using it in combat. Also, what helped, I'm guessing, is this power of this scope is only 2.2. The sources differ a little bit. It's hard to pinpoint exactly how much power was in that scope, but the lower power scope in those close quarter combats, in those jungles in the Guadalcanal, that was the winning formula, and that's probably why the 1903A4 at that time was receiving such a good praise from the Marines. Now, that being said, when we started the hopping through the islands campaign and taking those islands one by one, and the terrain started opening up, the people realized that, holy cow, that Unertl scope with the open terrain, when you have to take longer shots, delivers absolutely outstanding results. And again, the feedback started trickling down to the Marine Command, and the praise was said about what the Unertl snipers can do. And it kind of took the command by surprise, right? Because that first initial feedback was not really that good. But the writing was on the wall. At that point also was there was a push for the M1Cs and the Garants, and they started trickling down. The system war was basically ending, and Marine Corps, just like the US Army, could not learn from their mistakes, and they decided that there is no need for, in the future wars, there's no need for the snipers. So not just the sniper rifles were put on the back burner, but the whole sniper program was put on the back burner. And you had to wait only till the Korean War, when immediately there was a call from the field, holy cow, we have to bring the sniper program back online. And guess what? When the decision originally after the World War II was made that we're going to start getting rid of these Unertl sniper rifles, and we're going to start selling out the 1903s, for some unknown reason, the Marine Corps decided to stick to the scopes and put them in the freezer, right? And that was a good decision, because when the Korean War kicked in, they pull out the solid number of these 1903A1 Unertl snipers, and they were fielded in Korea. And in the Korea, those rifles absolutely rocked because of the open terrain, because of the long distances. The Marine snipers were basically achieving a lot of good success, and they put a lot of communists to the ground. So again, the whole 1903 sniper program was revived back, and hated Unertl scope was back on the track. But even then, the shortcomings of the scope were recognized. I will tell you from my own experience, guys, when shooting the scope in the low light conditions, either early in the day or later in the day, or when you got the really strong overcast, unfortunately, it's very hard to see through that scope. The tube diameter is not that big, the objective diameter is not that big, and it's not the whole scope is not gathering a lot of light. Also, the field of view is extremely small, so when you are watching for the vegetation and trying to make the adjustments for the wind calls, it's really hard to stay on the target and then see what's happening around you. So going back to the scope alone, I think everything was aging, even by the Marine Corps standards after the Korean War. And you would think that this was it. This was it for the Unertl scope, and they're going to pull the plug, and all will be sold to the public and go. That didn't happen. After the Korean War, actually some common sense returned to the military, and the decision was made that maybe it will be worth it to keep the sniper and the snipers program around, because as proven in Korea, holy cow, you may need them, right? So fast forward to the Vietnam War, and that scope have seen the action in Vietnam War again, this time on the Winchester's M70. And it's absolutely mind-blowing how, with so many complaints about that scope and that scope system, that this scope stayed in the service, let's say from the early 40s to the early 60s, so 20 something years, maybe quarter of the century. Let's round the numbers up. So that just tells you that this is absolutely amazing. What other beefs I have with this scope specifically? So the scope is very parallax sensitive. There is a parallax adjustment on the scope, but look how far it is located. And this goes back to the Unertl. Even on the M1903A1, when the Unertl created the 10 power scope, they had a weird way for adjusting the parallax. So here you got the locking ring, and then you got to unlock the locking ring, and you got to adjust the parallax. And on the 10 power scope, there is a locking ring inside the lens, and you got to unlock it, then you can adjust the parallax. So they stayed with the weird system for mid 80s, right? It wasn't until the Leopold started putting the parallax adjustment on the site, and you can easily adjust the parallax. Now you don't even think about it, but this was what was happening with this scope, and of course more power, this is getting more and more visible. Those who do not understand the parallax effect, so basically if you don't have a correct parallax set, you have to be very careful how you're holding your eye behind the center of the scope, because any shift to left, right, up or down, you will see that that reticle moves, and that will affect the point of impact when you will make a shot. So what was happening with this scope, you were settling down for some distance and locking the ring, and that was it, right? And if you were above or below that distance, that parallax would affect you more or less. Usually when you going below, because of the shorter distances, that shift is not as dramatic. But if you have a mismatch at the extended ranges, and the distance starts accumulating, that will pay bigger and bigger attention. So you really have to be careful and center that eye behind the scope to avoid the parallax errors as much as you can. And I talked already about how poorly that scope is doing in the low light conditions. That was another thing, which of course has to be taken to the point. And then of course the whole adjustment system, that's another story, and need to pull and reset the scope is just crazy. But as far as going back to the rifle, I think that the 1903A1 fine-tuned by the Marine armorers is absolutely a riot. And I would say that this is the most accurate rifle, sniper rifle from World War II era, and even by today's standard, I shot. And it's jaw-dropping that they could achieve that level of the accuracy at that time. And it just shows you that really the limitations were not the rifles. Very often the limitation was the optic. Now, if you're thinking about purchasing the original Unertl Sniper, 1903 Unertl Sniper, I highly encourage you guys to check the video from Stephen Norton. I'll post the link in the comments so you can dive to it and to educate yourself. Stephen did a fantastic job, pull out tons of documents from the archives, and uncovered a lot of unknowns about these rifles. And this is still work in progress because the research continues. What we know today is better what we knew 10 years ago, but that being said, in the next 5 or 10 years, more information could come to the light, and the knowledge could even increase more. So you have to always keep open mind. because the things are changing, and that's a good thing. Speaking about the National Archives, I did research some sniping things through the National Archives, and it's a tremendous work. So kudos to Stephen. And it is not easy to pull out the papers, find the papers, because the way how they were labeled, sometimes mislabeled. So that takes a lot of research, guys, and a lot of time. So big thanks to the Stephen for doing it. Also, big thanks to the Andy, because without the Andy, this video wouldn't happen, this rifle wouldn't be here. So thank you very much, Andy, for making this possible. And finally, as always, I want to thank to our Patreons, and the Patreon of the week name is right here. And guys, thanks, because I told you already, this channel is bleeding money. So to bring any feedback about those rifles and how they shoot, how they behave to you, it costs a lot of money. There's a lot of friends, people helping out, but Patreon members are especially deserving to be put on a pedestal, because you guys, without you, this is the only income for that channel. So and the ammo cost is absolutely outrageous. Even with reloads and everything, it's hard to keep up. So thank you guys for donating that money. And we don't have a lot of Patreons, but I want to always put you on there as a recognition, because you're helping. And those videos are not monetized. The channel is demonetized by YouTube, of course. So it is what it is. But as long as I will be in a position to show you what these rifles can do, and what they bring to the table, and dust off some history, I would be absolutely honored to be a guest in your rooms, and to bring that information back to you. All right, thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye.